What? Excuse you? You do this to me? You do this to me? One day before my birthday? And you cancel it. Nonsense. But okay, look, let's keep very much a stat, right? So obviously, just to kind of give you a TLDR, I'm a huge Kingdom Hearts fan, right? I'm pretty sure you know that at this point, especially been around the channel for a bit of a time. You know that, right? But when it comes down to it, though, I don't talk about it a lot on this channel. But at the very same time, as I said before, if there is Kingdom Hearts news that's popping off, I'm gonna yap about it. Granted, I would like to yap about this earlier, but I had to go to the store and get groceries, and that was some nonsense. But still, nonetheless, what is this? Like, what? So, okay, let me really just sit here and break this down real quick, right? So, first of all, there was a whole ass post that came from, like, I don't know, like Missing Link's whole ass, you know, what's it called, Twitter page or something like that, and essentially they have like a whole note basically elaborating over what the hell has happened, right? And it reads, development team announcement. We have made the decision to cancel the development of Kingdom Hearts Missing Link. We wish to convey our heartfelt apologies to everyone who has been looking forward to the start of the service. Although we have worked hard on developing and adjusting the game in the hope that it would be enjoyed by a lots of players, we determined that it would be difficult for us to offer a service that players would find satisfactory over a long period of time, leading us to the decision to cancel development. We would like this. I cannot read. It's been a long day. We would like to take this opportunity to express our thanks to everyone who gave us their support and assistance with the multiple read damn you closed beta tests. We are truly sorry to have to make this announcement. The Kingdom Hearts series will continue. We are hard at work on Kingdom Hearts 4, and you'll continue and hope you'll continue to support the series as you keep an eye out for further updates. That is literally what it says, word for word, to a point, word for word when it comes down to it. And okay, there's a few things I have to just straight up let out, right? So one, I'm kind of glad this is somewhat the case. Not because, oh, I don't want the story or I don't want, Missing Link to be a thing. I'll be honest. Was I really looking forward to playing Missing Link? No. Was I looking forward to the story of Missing Link? Abso-freaking-lutely. Yes, obviously if the game were to come out, I would have for sure booted up, test it out, see how it is, and then probably give up on playing it because I just don't really care to do so. But at the very same time, I'm more so here for the story than anything, right? Because that's the main thing I've been looking forward to when it comes to Missing Link, and so that's kind of like the thing, I guess, that is like the bad part of it that we won't be getting anytime soon. And the other part that I would definitely say that I am glad about is that I don't really like the idea of Kingdom Hearts being a gacha game. I don't like that at all, especially a story-driven gacha game, because let's just keep very much say there is a lot of people who have followed the story of Union Cross and Dark Road. There's a lot of people who have not followed the story of Union Cross and Dark Road, right? There is a lot of people that has not played those games, and to incorporate the lore of those games into what they are and try to put them into something like a Kingdom Hearts 3 or like the future Kingdom Hearts 4, that's a lot of work to do, and I feel like that's really unnecessary, which Square has a bad habit of doing. Like, they did this shit for FF7 Rebirth with, like, I guess Rufus and that one ghost man that was basically haunting him for like half of the game or a little bit of the game when we did get cutscenes of it with the Wu-Tai War, right? So it's like they're no stranger to do this, and really no story-driven game that's, out there at this point in time is no stranger to putting their shit on other pieces of media whatsoever. But at the very same time, something like Kingdom Hearts, as many games as it has, especially offline, standalone, KH titles, it should just have been a regular ass KH title. So to keep very much a stat, on that one hand, I'm like, yeah, this is fine in a way, because I'm like, I really didn't want to experience Kingdom Hearts in a gacha space again. And hopefully with this, cancellation, this will kind of be the end of Kingdom Hearts being on, mobile for at least a good little while, because they probably will try it again, but at least end that off for a decent little while, so we don't have to see a mobile scheme of things at all when it comes down to it, because I don't want to see Kingdom Hearts titles like that, right? Now the question is, though, when it comes down to it, and this leads into the other point, is what the hell happens with the story now? What the hell happens with this? What happens with Kingdom Hearts 4 too? Because if you think, oh, now they're focusing on Kingdom Hearts 4 and we're going full steam ahead on that, everything's gonna be perfectly fine. It might even come out sooner than we think. No. Here's my thing. I think they already, before they even announced this shit, they already knew this shit wasn't gonna work. Right? So they already knew. They're probably already, yes, working on Kingdom Hearts 4, bringing over the group together from the Missing Link side and started to work on KH4 to figure out what the hell they need to do, what's going on and all that sort of stuff. They're gonna figure that out and do what they can when it comes down to that, and that's gonna be great, right? However, you gotta remember, this is a story-driven ass game. This is a game that's very heavy on story, and we already know in an interview somewhere where Nomura was speaking, he was like, Missing Link, what happens in here, characters that might pop up here will probably pop up in KH4, and then at the very same time, certain aspects of Missing Link will have stuff to do in KH4. So that means there's already stuff that's already integrated into that. So kind of using that stuff now for base Kingdom Hearts 4 for what it is, kind of is unusable to a point, right? I don't think that means the entire game is going to be thrown away. I don't think this is going to cause in my personal opinion, I don't think it really would cause like a giant ass delay for KH4, but I do expect some kind of delay to fix up what the hell they can do and try to, I guess, remove those things that they once was going to toss in, or try to repurpose them in some shape or form, rework them in some shape or form, and all that sort of stuff. I do feel like they will still use that story of what Missing Link was going to be in some shape or form, but at the very same time, I don't really think they're gonna, completely use everything of what it once was. It's just really impossible. And as for why Missing Link got shut down the way it did, the only thing I can really give you of an excuse is like development hell. That's really about it, because this game really should have came out way quicker than it did, and it just didn't, and it's like, what the hell is actually even happening? It's a bit weird. It's a bit weird that a mobile game takes that long. It's nothing like Genshin Impact or like a ZCC even, or anything that's like a really big step up in mobile games when it comes down to it. So what the hell is this? Got no damn clue. But how shitty this has to be for Nomura working on, Kingdom Hearts and just working on a project again, where he experienced basically the exact same bullshit he had to deal with when it came down to Versus 13. Versus 13 was supposed to come out, and yet that didn't necessarily be the case, and then what Noctis ended up being from Versus 13 ended up becoming Final Fantasy 15, right? Then at the very same time, he started using the Versus 13 lore, at least bits of it, into Kingdom Hearts 4. So that's kind of how it is. And now Missing Link is basically getting the same damn treatment. I mean, when I tell you this man's revenge status is about to go way the hell up, it's about to go way the hell up, right? I don't know who, and I don't know how and why, but he's gonna probably do some nonsense that's gonna make everything go crazy. That's kind of how I feel with Nomura at this moment, right? I feel like that's gonna definitely be the case. This man's gonna have revenge status just out the wazoo, because that's just essentially how it is. I've also seen people kind of yap too about the subject. Some people are understandably disappointed and pissed at the company, which I don't blame you, right? This is really egregious, and I said this before, but Kingdom Hearts has always felt like, in Square Enix's eyes, like the black sheep of the whole company for whatever reason. Like, they don't ever bring it up whatsoever in a lot of topics, which I understand is a Disney couple, a collaboration and all that sort of stuff. You can't necessarily just say certain things out the wazoo without running it by Disney first, because most likely that possibly is the case. But at the very same time, I would think Disney would trust of all people, Nomura enough to kind of let him cook whatever he's gonna cook, and the game would sell well as long as it doesn't, hurt their bottom line or whatever the hell, right? So I would like to think they have enough faith in Nomura himself, maybe not in Square, but in Nomura himself to kind of be like, yeah, you can do whatever you want, we trust you, But that might not necessarily be the case though. So who really genuinely knows, you know? It just overall, it's just a weird ass situation, and it's a sad situation too, and it's a confusing one because again, there is so much lore that Missing Link was going to provide, and we don't know where the hell all that stuff was going to add into KH4, right? So when it comes down to it, you have things like obviously, the whole Master of Masters and the I guess like union leaders and all that sort of stuff. What does that have to do with them? Because it gonna have some stuff to do with them at some point in time, I imagine. Then at the same time, characters that was supposed to be in that game was gonna show up in KH4. Does that change? Is you still gonna do the same thing? What do you do? And there's like tons of other things that again Missing Link was going to go into that Kingdom Hearts 4 was gonna have, and it's like, how do you kind of shake things up while still keeping the game going on track? That's like a whole nother thing. I understand that the damn game Missing Link was supposed to be this forgotten time in history of the Kingdom Hearts lore and all that sort of stuff, this erased version of timeline events, but at the very same time, I didn't expect it to be too damn real. This man really sat here and played 4D chess and said, yeah, it's erased history, and that's why you're not getting the damn game. Which is kind of crazy, that's a bit bold. That's a bit bold, but I'm not necessarily sitting here and is surprised at that though. So that's just how that is when it comes down to it. There's also a group of people that has been yapping, that has also been saying they hate FF7 because their development of their game is what caused Kingdom Hearts to get, this sort of situation to happen, which I do not think that's the case, because you gotta realize, yes, Nomura is working on both projects, but Hamaguchi has been working mainly on FF7 and been doing a lot of stuff over there, so they have their own team, they do their own stuff, and while they might share some people from the department of each game every now and again, I don't really see that being like a giant, like, oh, we just screwed over Kingdom Hearts in some shape or form. I don't really see that being the case. I think they have their own team and stuff set up already, right? They might look at each other, take a few notes and whatever, and do what they got to do if they need help in each department. But at the very same time, I think they got it right. I really do genuinely think that. But that being said, I will definitely say this too, because a lot of people has also been waiting on June to come through, Summer Game Fest and all that sort of stuff, to see hopefully a Kingdom Hearts 4 trailer when it comes down to it. Now the question is, do they drop one? Because at the very end of the day, Kingdom Hearts most likely is not going to come out this year, and we don't even know if it's going to come out next year. Could be a 2027 early release of things. We don't know. But at the very same time, I say they do. And granted, I don't want a game to drop a trailer and just, do what they're going to do on that sort of level right when the game is not necessarily at a state to kind of do the marketing stuff and all that stuff when it comes down to it. I would rather it get closer to the time where that game can come out and we get a release date and all that stuff. But at the very same time, I'm not going to sit here and lie. If you don't show anything about Kingdom Hearts 4 now, or by the time Summer Game Fest happens, and we don't get to see shit, I promise you, that's gonna be by far the biggest breaking point for a lot of KH fans, because a lot of KH fans is already damning the company right now and is not effing with anything Square right now and anything Kingdom Hearts, and they're pretty much stopping, which I understand that, I get that, right? Which is all the more reason why you need to show them some reassurance, and hopefully, them saying they're working hard at KH4 isn't just damage control, because that's essentially what that was, But at the very same time, show off something of the game, and I don't mean like a little screenshot or like a little thing or a teaser. I would have suggested that before this point had happened, but now I feel like a full trailer needs to be shown. Right? At least enough to show what the hell is happening, what the game looks like, how do certain things, kind of function, and, start doing some talks of it. I ain't saying show off everything. I ain't saying show off the whole damn game. But I am saying show off something so people can feel like there is hope that that game is existing in some shape or form, right? Look at Rockstar with GTA 6. They pushed their damn game way back to next year of this month. And at the end of the day, they still say, you know what, let's just go ahead and drop a trailer so no one get pissed off at us, so they don't necessarily be on bullshit. And everybody pretty much forgot about the damn, delay and all that sort of stuff, or at least is fine with the delay because the game looks good. So they need to pull that type of tactic. As far as the missing link goes in the story and what they could repurpose that into as well, I would prefer them to do something like Back Cover, right? Where they did the whole Master of Masters and the Union Leaders and all that sort of stuff, but do it like a movie. And that's how we kind of got Back Cover. I would kind of prefer them to do something like that instead of actually a full-blown game. Like, I'm not going to sit here and lie. I want them to focus hard on making Kingdom Hearts 4 and that be the next big game for Square Enix to push out right now, than them focusing time to, do stuff with, Missing Link and try to make a game out of it and all that sort of stuff. I would rather them just make a movie, upload that to YouTube in episodic parts if that's what they want to do, and then essentially just let that shit rock. I would rather them do that than not do anything with it or try to make another attempt at the game or something like that. I feel like that's something that they should do, right? And they could just upload that shit to again on the YouTube or something like that, because I mean, it's about time for Square to kind of break out their old ass tactics of how they do things, because I'm not gonna sit here and lie. Yes, I understand you want to make as much money as possible, but then look at something like Sonic Generations and Sonic Frontiers, and look at other video games that had movies before the game and stuff to kind of explain certain things. Like, I'm not gonna sit here and lie, you kind of need to do that at this point. I would feel like that's very valid, especially something that is important before you get to play KH4 and to understand what the hell is going on. If you're gonna do anything, take some of the cutscenes that you already had or repurpose a lot of that shit that you was going to do, and then just go full-blown ham into that and just have them work on that for a movie for YouTube and for people to watch and whatever, instead of just straight up trying to sell them that. Or if they're going to do that, make it where Kingdom Hearts 4 comes out, you get the whole game, but you also get the movie of Missing Link to see what the hell happens in it, if you're just curious to jump into that before you jump into KH4, which granted, I feel like a lot of people will just jump into KH4 before that, but the option is definitely there, right? But overall, this whole situation is a sketchy one. It's very much a sketchy one, and it's give no faith to people that really, sit here and enjoy Square Enix as a whole. Like, I don't like talking shit about, Kingdom Hearts or, things of games that I really do like, and that's why sometimes it's not really often I talk shit about Genshin or something like that. But at the very same time, if there is something bad that's just there and I see it and I obviously can't really ignore that shit, it has to be yapped about, right? This is very much a bad play, and this is very much something that's just really soured the mood for a lot of people, right? Especially going after 3 years of just straight up silence on these two games, Kingdom Hearts 4 and Missing Link, and have nothing to say about anything, no communication whatsoever. Like, it's a bit jarring. Like, and I was feeling this too, because I'm like, bro, y'all have all these interviews, all these nice little tidbits about Final Fantasy VII Part 3, which is great. I'm gonna play that shit when it comes out. It's gonna be a fantastic conclusion in time. But at the very same time, what about the main game I'm really here for when it comes down to Square Enix? What about Kingdom Hearts? That's the shit I really came here to see. Sure, Cloud can have his story, whatever, blah blah blah. I came here for the spiky haired boy with the damn key sword. Where is that shit? And that is easily the biggest thing for me. That is a giant takeaway of anything of Square Enix, I'm gonna be honest with you. Right? And if I'm not getting that, really, yeah, cool, Final Fantasy is there, but it's not what I'm looking for. It's not the thing that makes me click into JRPGs as hard as something like Kingdom Hearts does. And that's just how it is, right? So, ultimately, we'll just have to wait and see. We're just gonna have to wait and see how this whole thing turns out, how this all really gonna go and turn to a head. Because at the end of the day, I really don't see how they, make this situation better outside of just straight up, pushing a trailer out at some point in time in the near future. Like, between now and Summer Game Fest. Because again, they don't do it. I feel like that's really shitty. I'm not gonna sit here and lie. Like, they kind of have to do it, you know, even if the game isn't nowhere near done. They kind of need to show something, because if they don't, it's gonna be some nonsense. I don't mean like a teaser or anything like that, or at least nothing of a light teaser. Show a decently sized teaser that we can kind of eat off of for a good little time. Do that, and I promise you, at least some people would not necessarily be too mad anymore, and hopefully you can still have what you got and people will still be interested in that game, right? Which most likely people are. If they really enjoy the story, you're really going to be still interested in where the hell things go. But, you know, that's just kind of how it is, though. But overall, I don't think Kingdom Hearts 4 is going to get hit with a bad delay. I think it's going to hit with some type of delay, right? I don't necessarily think it's going to be hit in the same space that they could try to fix up and whatever. But at the very same time, I don't necessarily see this as like an ultra super crazy delay that's going to push back the game in a worse way. I don't really see that, unless it really incorporated a lot of missing link, which I don't think they're going to do, or they should do, if I'm being honest. But at the very same time, who really knows, you know? So there is definitely going to be that. But I guess really ultimately, that is all I really wanted to say about this whole situation. It's a bit of a loony one. It's a bit of a shad one. It's a bit of a shad one, right? Shad Gaspard and JTG crime time type of situation, right? It does feel like that. But at the very same time, I'm just holding out that they'll show something between now and Summer Game Fest. They'll have some type of video package ready for Kingdom Hearts 4 to get you still hyped up for the game, and hopefully we'll still see something, because this is a very bad situation to be in. And again, they need to kind of do something to recoup this loss really hard. Plus, let you keep it very much stacked, Square got nothing going on majorly for the future right now outside of FF7, you know, and Kingdom Hearts 4. And if Kingdom Hearts 4 needs to be the next game, show something of it, tease something of it, and just give somebody a video something. Because you just can't sit on your ass and not do that. It's kind of impossible at this point, unless you're really trying to, you know, F people over. And really, that's just kind of how it is, you know? But anyway, hopefully you did enjoy. If you did, be sure to like, share, subscribe, hit the bell notification on your way out. Also follow my socials and listed on this channel. Kofi Cash App is available as well. Tomorrow, don't know what we're going to do for my birthday. It's going to be a bit weird, going to be a bit wild, but hopefully you'll still enjoy whatever the hell it is. I'll be honest. And until then, it's been Boy J, signing off. Have a blessed day.